Screw that shit.
Welcome back, everybody, to Den Excelsior, the Mostly Marvel podcast. I'm your host, Ricky. With me, like always, we got Dennis.
I'm not gonna lie, that was a little scary. You weren't moving on my screen.
Oh, you weren't moving on my screen either.
Oh man,
it's one of those shows today.
Last time this happened, you ended up ditching me. All right, are we good right now?
Roll the dice.
I think we're good right now.
Yeah, I think we're good. Episode 235. We're talking about episode 5 of X-Men 97 season 2.
It's called Weapon X,
it's also
Lies and DVDs. Are we still having problems here?
I think I'm just gonna not talk and see how you react.
This show is off to a great start here. Did you hear the part I said about Weapon X, Lies and
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, you started talking, and I wasn't sure if you could hear me. Okay, I swear to God, ladies and gentlemen, we have been doing this for 235 episodes, but every now and then,
now I can't.
The internet gets us. I'll be right back.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen.
Funny enough, like if you don't pay your bills, they slow your internet down.
Is that true?
Are you really leaving? No. All right. This is our, I guess, pre-Comic-Con show as well. SDCC starts in 2 days. That's kind of why we're recording a little bit earlier on a Monday instead of a Tuesday. So a lot of preps going in for that. But I think what we can kick the show off on is what we have been nerding out on. Dennis, if you want to take us to what you're nerding out on. Or what you nerded out on past week.
There was definitely some wrestling. The Saturday Night Main Event. There was definitely... You know what I did, honestly, is I was inspired to go back and watch old episodes of X-Men because I started realizing there's a pattern going on here with every episode of the season. It's referencing older episodes that maybe we don't remember, and it's kind of remixing them. And I'll talk more about that later today on the show, because the Weapon X, Lies and DVDs is a total remix of an episode of 2 different episodes that happened a long time ago. And so that was just kind of fun for me to like watch a lot of old ones. And
they do reward multiple viewings.
Yeah, I did not realize that Kang also appeared in the old show. At the end of a giant time travel apocalypse.
Does he look like Kang, or is he?
It was Immortus Kang.
Okay, that's a Kang.
So it's a different Kang, yeah. But he showed so even that thing that happened to us a few weeks ago was not entirely new. It just felt new. Remix, Other than that, I also watched the Odyssey 1.5 times.
The Odyssey.
I watched that, and
well, I feel like we should talk about that because it is topical.
It's topical. Where does this rank on your
on my Nolans?
Sure, on your Nolans or your movies in general?
I think this is one of the best movies I've ever seen in theaters.
Wow, for reals?
Well, I made the trek to see a 70mm showing, and to see the movie. And the movie's shot entirely 70mm. And I think it is that much more immersive, in my opinion, or was an immersive experience, as well as the audio, where it was just a very nice visual specter for the 3-ish hours of that runtime.
Okay. I
It's
thought it
like
was fun. I saw an IMAX, just a regular IMAX in my like as if IMAX is ever regular, in my Edwards, and I was entertained. I did not find anything wrong with the movie. I just didn't feel emotionally connected to the story, the actors, and I also couldn't stop thinking about how different this world is, where a few years ago when Christian Bale played Moses in Exodus Gods and Kings, everyone was super pissed. Everyone laughed at Gods of Egypt when Jamie Lannister was playing an Egyptian pharaoh. There was so many people cast awkwardly in movies in the past that have been criticized for them, and we watched an entire 2 hour and 45 minutes of Matt Damon being Odysseus, and I
I
was
kind of
just like,
I not his portrayal specifically, but I like that it is a very diverse cast, and
but it's not.
I mean
It's a lot of white people playing people from Greece.
I enjoyed the spectacle of seeing
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying
known
the bar is low.
known actors playing
Yeah,
very.
but do you understand that was the spectacle of old Hollywood too, when they would wear blackface and
I
stuff.
think it wasn't. I think there's
I'm
level
saying
to egregiousness.
what I'm saying is the bar had been raised to a certain point a few years ago when we were finally being critical of Hollywood for doing this kind of stuff. And what I'm pointing out, as you have actually helped me point out, is that in 2026, the bar has been lowered again, and we are okay with this. And I think that's funny. I think it's funny that the pendulum swings, and we are.
I don't know. I think you're swinging a little bit there.
But you're drinking the Kool-Aid, bro. That's
not.
what I'm saying. You're drinking the Kool-Aid because you've decided that you're okay with these actors being way miscast, playing characters in ancient Greece, and you're fine with that, and that's okay. That's okay, because I think a majority of America is too. I'm not judging you specifically. What I'm saying is, I think it says a lot about the pulse of where we are with our entertainment, is that we're so starved for entertainment that we're willing to look past certain awkward elements.
I think a lot of this depends on how you interpret the Odyssey in terms of, is it a factual movie or is it a fairy tale? And I go to the latter. So I don't seek realism in that sense.
But it's fiction. It's factual places. So you're saying if like the Black Panther took place in like a real country in Wakanda, but they used all white people, you'd be fine with it?
No, that's completely different. You're contextualizing in weird.
It's not. I'm saying, like, I'm not the crazy one, but the world is trying to make me feel like the crazy one now, because in 2013 we were like, and are you going to say that the Exodus is a factual movie?
No, I don't even know what movie you're referencing.
Exodus, Gods and Kings. It's the story of Moses with Christian Bale as Moses. It got a lot of crap back in the day. You don't remember this? That's funny. I mean, it's only this.
Were people pissed about the Passion of the Christ? That's a pretty white dude in that movie.
No, but I'm saying the pendulum swings. When Passion of the Christ came out, people were not being woke. I'm saying that there's a pendulum swing happening, and it's interesting to watch.
I do not know anything.
I didn't expect you to like want to like die on this hill. It's pretty funny. it's okay that you liked it. I'm saying that I understand what's likable about the movie, but I just think it's interesting that if you were to go back and recall a different period of time where we told another great epic and that movie freaking bombed.
Well, you're missing an important sublayer to that specific controversy. People are upset on Twitter because all the white people were characters and black people were slaves. And then Ridley Scott came forward and said this movie would have never been financed if the lead actor is Mohammed so and so from such and such. Which then obviously people were more upset.
Yeah, but I'm saying like that they were upset to begin with, and that's why he made a comment. They were already upset. Like that doesn't change the fact that they were upset. But at least Ridley Scott had the balls to acknowledge what you are not acknowledging. Is that the sentiment makes a difference, and he just misread the room at the time. That's all. And so the public sentiment right now with the Odyssey is this is okay, this is fine. And I'm like, okay, interesting, cool.
I find it's an interesting weird hang up. So you did not enjoy the movie?
No, I actually did not say that. I said I enjoyed the movie and found nothing wrong with it as a story, or as a movie. Just I thought it was interesting that that's where we are again right now. So I find the casting to be I am surprised that the casting was not considered problematic in the ways that it's actually the opposite. I've definitely heard people complaining about Elliot Page being in that movie or Lupita Nyong'o's casting. But I find what's up?
Yes, people are definitely pissed about certain parts of the cast.
Yeah, but I didn't expect it to be just those two. I'm like, oh, okay. It's almost like those two are a distraction to slip all the other ones in the door. You know what I mean?
I feel like there's a deeper conversation here.
Well,
that I don't want to have recorded.
Oh, fine. Okay, fine. I came to
for
play.
the sake of not wanting to make a fool of myself.
But I came to play, but it's okay. I can respect your boundaries. That is my take on Odyssey. Cool movie, not my favorite Nolan movie. And America is in a special time right now.
I thought it was a really rewarding movie going experience. I'll say that.
Yeah, for sure.
And well worth the money. Like I paid $20 some odd to get my ticket. And I feel
I paid so much more than that.
I feel the return on that investment tenfold in terms of entertainment value.
Okay.
I did like this. I did like the story though. It's not like I'm an Odyssey stan, but I feel like everyone's read this book at some point through school. But just the more reframing of like the message or whatever of like
the horrors of men. The horrors of men.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that part's cool. I will say, I don't. If you wanted to talk more about the Odyssey, we can. But Obsession came out on Peacock this weekend, and I got Lindsay to watch that, and that was a joy. I have you seen that movie yet? Ricky, what are we doing here? What are you doing? You're going to a pop culture convention tomorrow. What are you doing? You gotta be up on your pop culture, man. Come on.
Sorry, I don't like watching movies about toxic relationships.
You just did. We were just talking about one only moments ago, and you actually described it as one of the most fun movie-going experiences of your life. So I'm confused. You gonna tell me that it's not a toxic ass relationship?
No, I need to see Obsession. That is it is on my watch list while I'm waiting in line for 10 odd hours later this week.
Do it. I love it. I loved it so much the second time. It's a fantastic movie. So highly looking forward to seeing what Indy Navarrete does in the future. Yeah.
Is she an X-Men?
Maybe. I mean, in fairness, the X-Men are so incredibly diverse that anybody can be an X-Men. Like there's any actor in the world could be cast as somebody in the X-Men. So I would never say no. Yeah. What about you? What have you been internet on?
Odyssey, but also I'm almost finished with The Bear. The last season of The Bear does something kind of interesting where each episode is like an hour in the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
It takes place over like a full day. So that's kind of a neat.
Like 24?
Like 24, like The Pit.
Okay.
So we got one more episode left, but it's kind of the journey to the end has been enjoyable. And then also last night I stayed up to watch some King of the Hill. King of the Hill's back for season 15.
Okay.
Don't take my word for it because I think it is really good. That show continues to age well, but apparently it's gotten like perfect 10s everywhere for this season. I'm only like 4 or 5 episodes in, but it's just.
Is it you? Are you the only person who's reviewed King of the Hill so far?
No. I wish.
Okay.
But it is very like, man, it's such a comfort watch for me, that show. But to see take very, everything's aged up. So it's like more modern problems.
Yeah.
Like he tries to buy toothpaste and it's locked behind the glass. And, we've all been there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a nice comfort watch for me. And so I'm happy to see it going and see it be just as entertaining.
Cool. I forgot to mention, I also nerded out on my adventures with Superman. That season 3 came back.
Is it all out already?
No, they're 6 episodes deep right now, and it is crazy because they're doing like a remix of the Death of Superman storyline where all the other Supermen have entered the picture, but there was no Doomsday and no Death of Superman beforehand. Instead, Clark has lost all of his powers, and so he's wrestling with being a human while everyone else tries to take care of his city. It's so cool, and it's so silly and fun. I love Jack Quaid as Superman. It's such a great cartoon. Highly recommend. But I'm caught up and ready to go to the panel at Comic-Con this week because I love it. But are you going to go to the King of Hill panel, by the way? Are you going to try?
Oh man, that Friday I'm going to try. I think it's an easy get.
I think you should, for as much as you love it. I think you deserve that in your day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's definitely on the list for Friday.
But you also want to see the Marvel Legends panel too, huh?
Yeah, I think I can do both.
Yeah.
My week of line planning and getting that whole situated with
your partners.
My partners. Well, my partner and then my other partners. All I'll say is like if it all works and comes together, I'll be amazed. And also I think this year I've done it before, but I've made more of an effort to get parking at Comic-Con. And I'm like, that's what growing up is getting parking at Comic-Con instead of the 10 different ways that I used to get there.
That is growing up, sir. That is. I'm pretty stoked to pass on a party and come home early on Friday. That just sounds fun.
If we all get into Hall H, we all get the wristband, that party will be well worth it. If we don't get in the Hall H, I can drink at that party excessively.
Excessively? It's a paid party?
Oh no, that ticket came out today. It had some choice verbiage.
Oh, really?
Think otherwise this year.
Okay. Well, you have fun then. I hope you have.
All right. Yeah. Should we get some news?
Let's do the news.
Spoilers, there really isn't a ton of news considering the week that is, but through coincidence of this show, I think we lucked out and probably got some of the biggest news announced today. We got a Doomsday trailer. We got a Avengers Doomsday trailer. The trailer came out earlier this morning. Tickets are already on sale. Get your tickets if you want.
I'm good. I'm pretty sure I'm going to see it at Sinopolis with somebody who buys a theater out.
I need to rekindle that relationship again. Maybe I'll say hi in the bathrooms here.
Yeah, maybe you will.
Where I lost my the Doomsday trailer. It's apparently it's pretty much the same one they showed at CinemaCon. So for those of you that are going to Hall H on Sunday or on Friday or on Saturday, there probably will be something else, but it's nice to kind of get the ball rolling on the Doomsday train. I don't know if you've seen some of the gas lamp setup this year, but the arch in the gas lamp is a big Doomsday arch. Okay. They replaced it. This trailer didn't do much for you.
It did absolutely nothing for me.
It did not do a lot for me either.
Yeah. That's not good, right?
I think it's more...
If it's not getting us hyped, who's it getting hyped?
Yeah, like it... I don't know, man. Like we had so much time to brew in the Thanos stew, right?
Yeah.
No time with Doom up until this point. And then what I think is fine, that could work. But we also don't have a lot in terms of the characters either.
We don't know why all these characters are coming together either. We haven't built up to like, oh, he's collecting Infinity Stones. Oh, he's doing this. I have no freaking clue what Doctor Doom is even up to. And that's annoying because
it's crazy, right? Like in phase 4, can you tell me which character has the most screen time up until now?
Probably Wong.
He's up there. But it's Yelena Belova.
Okay. Wong is like number 2, right?
He's up there.
Yeah.
But that's crazy. Like, and I'm not knocking on Florence Pugh. I'm not knocking on that character, but
yeah,
we're going into an Avengers movie. And again, the only real Avenger, which by that meaning person on that team, is Sam, Thor, and I guess
don't forget Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
And Bucky.
Like, I don't want to do another Avengers movie.
Bucky's an Avenger.
Yeah, he's an Avengers.
He's both Avengers.
I don't want to do another Avengers movie where they have to dance around why Captain Marvel's not there.
Or Spider-Man or Hulk.
Or Spider-Man or Hulk. Or, like, it's...
Yeah.
The Fantastic Four, I'm happy they're in there. It's cool to see those toys play with the other toys. I liked Namor in the black suit. That was cool.
Yeah, I just didn't care.
But it's like...
I want to care. I really do. I seriously do. But right now, for me, Dune 3 is the movie. Is the movie I'm most hyped for.
Are you going to try to see both on the same day?
I would happily watch Dune 3 instead of Avengers.
But it won't be in Infinity Vision.
Exactly, which is why it'll be better.
I was looking at tickets today. Might as well.
Yeah.
I know I am going to see that movie, right?
Yeah, I'm totally going to see the movie. If you make me choose between that and Dune 3, I'll take Dune 3.
Well, I have a pretty good grasp on like the theaters in my local area. There's certain theaters I go to see certain movies, based on either the investment I want to make in the movie, like a budget theater, and I don't really care, or if I want the spectacle, which in that case, IMAX 70mm in Irvine. But I looked at, so it's for context, today only theaters with Infinity Vision went on sale today. Everything else goes on sale at a later date.
How many theaters have Infinity Vision?
A lot. And I was surprised by this, but then I saw there's a theater next or really close to me that is what I would consider a budget theater. It's you ever been to Hazard Center in San Diego?
I think so. Yeah.
Theater. It's
I don't know
I'm
if
not
I've been.
quite sure how to help you with that.
okay. It's not a great theater, but I used to like going there because right off the trolley stop, it was very cheap, and they took Movie Pass. And for certain movies, that was the right combination for me to see. So this theater next to me is very, very similar to that fit, and we go there to see those types of movies. But that one's also labeled Infinity Vision, and I know why. They recently updated their sound. But
Infinity Vision sounds like really low bar.
Slapping this label on things.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like everything about this entire movie just screams desperate. Like, and I'm not in for that. Like, you got to understand, I am 235 episodes into the Mostly Marvel podcast with you, plus bonus content, plus all the Patreon stuff we did for years, plus like all the time that we have spent talking about Marvel or comic book related shows and movies and stuff. And that comes from a love of Marvel. Like that comes from a lifetime of loving Marvel comics and loving the stories that they have to tell. And even then, I can tell you, sadly, that trailer did nothing for me. And that's a bummer, man. Like, it's such a bummer because I know that none of this was the plan. And that's what's making this hard for me to enjoy it, is because none of this was the plan. And then Dune 3 said, this is our date, we're taking it. And then Marvel was like, but we have to establish strength. We have to show strength. What can we do? Well, we can't be an IMAX. Can we bribe the theaters into creating a fake format so that we can still feel like we're special? You know what I mean? Like, nothing about this movie feels like it has our best interests at heart. It feels like it has Disney's best interests at heart. And that's not a movie that I want to like jump out to like wave my wallet and say, take my money. You know what I mean? Like, am I being honest? Like when I say that, yes, I still will see that movie. I just won't see it before I go watch a movie that's handcrafted with love and attention and detail and planning, like Dune 3. Like, that's going to be a very well thought out and well executed cinematic experience, you know what I mean? In IMAX as intended. But you can't say that about Avengers because they're just doing whatever they can to get your buck.
It does feel a little rushed.
Yeah.
Side note, Kevin Feige is doing press for Spider-Man. That movie comes out in a little over 2 weeks.
I'm super excited for that movie, by the way. I'm very excited. So excited.
He got asked point blank, like, how does he feel about Blade? And he said very bluntly, I'm feeling like a gigantic loser and failure that we didn't get off the ground with Mahershala. And that's an interesting statement. It sounds like they're done with it.
They might be moving on. They might have to, right?
And I'm not gonna fault Mahershala for not moving. You know, Mahershala, dude had it's almost been 10 years
since they announced him. They announced him the same time
that was
they
your
announced
last
Marvel. They announced him the same time they announced Brie Larson, right?
Yeah.
What?
Since then, we've gotten a full Doomsday trilogy.
What? They announced him when they announced Brie Larson? That's wild, dude.
Oh, 2019. Sorry, we're extrapolating a little bit.
Okay. 7 years. That's a lot.
7. That's crazy.
In fairness, take away 2 for COVID. All right.
Take away 2 for COVID.
I'll
take
5
away
years.
Three for the writer's strike.
No, you can't take away 3. You can take 1 from the writer's strike. Okay.
Or sorry, make it 3 total for
okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
But
it's still a
It's
long
it's a
time
bummer
to
if they can't, if they don't make,
to waste that talent is crazy, and that's
it's not even like, even if you want to get, it's not even like fan casty, John Krasinski casting talent. It's Academy Award winner Mahershala Ali talent. You just can't do that.
You do not have to sing the praises to me of Mahershala Ali. The craziest part, Mahershala
two-time Academy Award winner Mahershala Ali.
Yeah, but also the craziest part, best part of season 1 of Luke Cage. Best part of Luke Cage, period. Mm-hmm. And they got him cheap then. You know what I mean? Like, and they should have locked in this Blade thing so much faster, because they've already worked with him and they know what he can bring to the table. Like, he's the reason I love that first season of Luke Cage. It's entirely Mahershala Ali. You know what I mean? He allows Mike Coulter to find his character through acting against this character. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But that said, I mean, it's a bummer, but I appreciate the candidness of Kevin Feige. Kind of,
I mean, the buck does stop with him.
I also saw he got asked a question about Adam Driver point blank. He was asked, if they've had talks, and he said it has become a tradition at Marvel to have Zoom calls with Adam Driver and then be turned down by Adam Driver. So.
But both, I did see that statement in the statement. They're both phrased in a way that doesn't close the door.
No, obviously he's had multiple talks with Adam Drivers over the years, and he's failed every time. But
I expect, look, there'll probably be some news at Comic-Con.
I'm sure there will, and I will love hearing it from you guys. I will, but I'm not going to that room. I'm not touching that room.
Last bit of news that's actually Marvel related, but not necessarily movies or like books themselves. Okay. But Marvel Comics as an entity is moving from New York to Burbank.
Wow, are you serious?
Yep. They're going to start a year-long transition of their team in New York and moving to Burbank, with the rest of essentially every other bit of Marvel is in Burbank at Disney, except for the comics. And it's almost 90 years of being in New York that they're moving. But I think people were kind of giving shit about this, but DC moved like 10 years ago.
DC did move 10 years ago. But DC's stories were never so iconically New York.
It does make sense.
But I'm saying DC's stories weren't like, New York wasn't a character in their stories.
Yeah.
And the best Marvel comics, like a lot of them, the New York is a character in their stories. So it's more synonymous with Marvel. And so I saw when DC left, I saw that as DC losing and saying, you can have New York. This is we have more important things to do in California. And so I kind of like the idea of one of them being on the East Coast and one being on the West Coast. It gave them a different kind of sensibility, because it all influences. The culture is going to influence how the art is made. You know what I mean? That's art feeds on culture. So it's interesting to me that we're going to over time, we're going to lose a little bit of that East Coast flavor potentially. You know what I mean? So we'll see.
But the West Coast Avengers are going to look really good now.
Sure, for sure. Yeah.
As part of this move, again, it'll take place over a year. They sound like they're committed to relocating people. Always a good thing. But they're going to make a change in leadership as well. The current editor-in-chief, C.B. Cebulski, is going to step down and take over the role of editor of Asia Originals. So he's going to be moving to Japan.
Okay.
They're trying to start a manga wing.
Okay.
And then Stephen Wacker is going to take over as editor-in-chief.
Okay, cool.
So there you go.
These are names that I've grown up seeing in much smaller positions. So good for them. Good job, guys. I will say, I know you said you didn't have any more news, but Did you hear that Jada Toys put up Scooby Doo's today?
I want the Space Kook.
I know you do. You can pre-order it right now on Big Bad Toy Store.
I don't want to do that.
Why not?
I'm hoping I can walk up and buy them in 3 days.
You understand the reverse works. You can pre-order it today, and then if you buy it, you can cancel your pre-order.
This is how I gamble. Like, don't take this away from me.
Okay, all right. I was just saying. I knew you've been wanting that Space Kook for a while, so I just wanted to let you know.
There's a cool pin that yesterday has of the Space Kook as well. So.
Who has?
Yesterday pins.
I don't know yesterday pins.
Oh, they're you've seen them. They're the long ass line on the back half of the event center.
Okay, got it. Okay, cool. Yeah, I just want to let you know because I think it's really awesome that in preparation for Comic-Con, Jada Toys has single-handedly done the job of ensuring that every fan that goes to talk to them is going to have nothing but smiles, because there's nothing to complain about now, right? The Invincible toys went up for pre-order last week, and that Scooby-Doo they showed off last year, like at Comic-Con, has now finally been purchasable. I think the funniest part is none of the toys that we pre-ordered from them are going to be in our hands until way later in the year. So we also cannot complain about QC issues. So yeah, I think good job whoever decided to drop those, the timing on that. That's quite genius marketing right there.
All right, he's in my pre-order.
All right, I hope I didn't ruin your gamble. I hope that you can still have fun if you get him at the store.
Yes, as you alluded to, Comic-Con's this week, so much announcements we had on our show next Tuesday. I guess before we wrap up and go into the spotlight, any 3 or so things that you're specifically excited about, whether it be an exclusive or a panel?
I'm excited to go to the Mattel WWE panel. That will be my first time ever going to that. And I'm pretty impressed by their figures lately. I've been watching my wife collect them, and they're pretty high quality. They're pretty high quality figures. So I'm really interested to see the kind of spectacle that they put on at their panel. I think that's probably like one of my most favorite like anticipated experiences. I'm also stoked to go to cartoon voices and cartoon drawing. Those are really just fun things that have become a little bit of a tradition for me, even though I don't get to go every time because sometimes they're packed. And then Marvel Legends is everything that I look forward to every Friday or whatever day they do it. So I'm stoked for that too. Jada too. Yeah. It's a very toy heavy one for me this year. I'm very excited for how much toys.
I'm gonna make an effort, probably with your help, for Marvel for the Legends panel. I do enjoy those, and I enjoy the fandom. Like,
yeah,
at work, I am the Spider-Man guy, as I now have 31 Legends on my desk.
Yeah.
And people ask, like, I think they assume that just translates that I love Spider-Man, which I do like Spider-Man a lot. But I kind of have to explain to them I really don't. My interest in these figures is the toys themselves, not necessarily the character.
That's funny.
I think they are neat pieces of engineering.
They are.
And telling people the difference between this one's got toes, this one doesn't have toes, this one can do this one it's I find that fascinating, and being at that panel and around other people like me is always a joy. Obviously, the Hall H on Saturday, it's a big part of me going to Comic-Con. And as much of a pain in the ass as those things are to get to, they still hit at a certain level where you keep coming back.
I just hope that one day when you finally don't find a way in there, that you can still enjoy your Comic-Con. That's all I want. That's all I just want to make sure that I never want you to miss it. If you don't want to miss it, I understand. I never want that. But I just want to I hope I hope in my heart that you still will find that you can love Comic-Con even if that doesn't.
Oh, I do. There's the years that it's not there. It's
okay, cool.
just as much of a joy.
Yeah.
I'm also
Just
trying to get
as
some
much?
more. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I get like 2 old days back.
You do get your
It's
old
more
days.
expensive if I don't go to Hall H.
That is true, man. I spend way more money now that I don't go to Hall H. So much more. Because you just find shit. You
Yeah.
just find
I'm
shit
just
and you're
looking
like,
for a reason.
whoa, I didn't know this existed. Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
I'm also excited. There's I'm more into buying prints than I was in my youth.
Nice. Do you have a folder for them?
I like posters. I have all my like nicer posts, like the Mondo stuff, or
yeah. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
But I found a couple. I've noticed it's been happening more recently, but I've specifically sought out 3 artists that I'm excited to hopefully get. They're doing San Diego or like Comic-Con Convention Center prints, like really nice Art Deco pieces that are more of like a celebration of what it is for the city. And I think those are really cool. You know, this is really I can't imagine a life without a Comic-Con.
I know, right?
So
is a shop called Quest going to be there again?
They're going to be there. They have some really cool hats this
Okay.
year. No shirts announced yet, but they're going to drop. I think they're going to drop those tomorrow.
I'm ready to go, man.
But they have some cool hats. They have some more pins. If you're ever up in the IE, you got to go to their store. But
I would love to.
With that said, let's talk about X-Men.
Let's do it.
X-Men 97, episode 5, season 2.
It was episode 5, yeah. Weapon X, Lies, and DVDs. This episode is the name is a nod to an old episode of the original X-Men. I want to say it's season 4, I think it was. It might have been season 3, called Weapon X, Lies, and Videotape. And the interesting thing about that is, one, that episode was a reference to a mature R-rated movie that was popular at the time called Sex, Lies, and Videotape, which nobody watching X-Men at the time should know anything about that movie. But I think that's funny that they would name an episode of a children's cartoon based on that.
Cartoons back then were different.
I know, they were different, right? They were built different for sure. But the second thing that makes it interesting is I kind of did some looking up of this, and it turns out that DVDs began to be heavily adopted, or began to be adopted, at least by, as a new format to be used in 1997, which just happens to be the year that this show takes place in now. So while the predecessor episode they were still using videotapes, the people at the Weapon X program, we're now adopting DVDs, which is appropriate for the time. That said, the episode was kind of teed up last week with Wolverine meeting with Captain America and Black Widow, and he got some files on location, and they told him he might not find what he's looking for, but be careful. And he's got he's assembled a team, right? And the team is all of his old Weapon X people.
Yeah, all of the various weapons and company.
A lot of them, right? And if they're not included in his team, there is a nod to pretty much every single person that's ever been part of the Weapon X program at a certain point when they're looking through all the old files, all the DVDs, right?
I didn't know Luke Cage was a weapon.
I know he was experimented on the government. It wouldn't be hard to draw a line from that to
the readings that I saw was he's weapon 7.
Okay, yeah, I couldn't tell you what designation all of them are, but it was fun to see them all listed together, right? Mm-hmm. But so the point of this episode is Wolverine convinces people that he's going there to get answers or something from Dr. Cornelius, which is a load of crap for me. Like as soon as I saw what he was doing, I'm like, oh yeah, this is pretty obvious. He just wants his freaking metal back, because he's tired of breaking his bones when he's fighting robot enemies and stuff like that, you know. But sure enough, when they get there, they are greeted to some strange things. There's like alien freaking birds and bears and stuff out in the woods, and I'm like, I hope we wrap that part up at the end of this episode, because that's problematic that there's aliens just flying around in that part of remote Canada or wherever the facility is. I don't remember. But when they get inside, they find out that the whole facility has been wrecked by the Brood, right? Which is another famous X-Men like villain.
That's their first time in the show, right?
And you know, that is the craziest part. When I watched this show, I was like, why is Wolverine saying it's something he's never smelled before, when I could have sworn he fought the Brood a long time ago? And I went back and looked it up and watched the episode. There's another episode. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I'll get to it eventually. But I learned that they used legally distinct Brood back in the day, and not for a reason that would make sense like normally, but it was actually because they had already used them twice in a non-context, or out of context is what I'm trying to say. They had used the Brood twice out of context previously in the show, and so they felt when it was time to do a proper Brood story, it would be weird for the viewers to have these same aliens show up again. Because
bootleg Brood.
What's up?
They did a bootleg Brood.
They did bootleg Brood only because they'd wasted the Brood on a Mojo episode, and there's an episode where Professor X tries to scare somebody, so he flashes an image of the Brood Queen into their mind. And so, like, because the X-Men and these other characters are already using an established horrific alien monster, even though they've never met it before, the producers decided to make their own version of it called the Colony. And they are awful looking. But in it, Wolverine calls them roaches, just like he does these characters. And in it, Wolverine also gets infected by them and turns into a Wolverine colony hybrid, and then, you know, eventually expels that from his system, just like he did in this episode. So this episode is honestly a strange rehash, but almost a retcon, just to finally give us the proper Brood that we, as X-Men fans, always wanted to see. So I don't know. It's a weird episode for me, because it's fun, but at the same time, I also really didn't expect Wolverine to get the adamantium back that fast, right?
It is pretty. I mean, it is fast.
Like, think of all the stories we don't get to have now.
Were the bone claws are a new thing, relatively, right?
The bone claws were established in the late 90s, mid to late 90s. Is I want to say like 96 or 97, something like that. Yeah. So, but it never appeared in the cartoon. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So honestly, the bone claws might have been 97, but it might have been 95 too. I can't remember. But either way, the comics take a little while to make it to the you know, like,
yeah,
like a year, at least a year, like sometimes, you know. So in any case, yeah, the bone claws were something that appeared in the comics, may or may not have been before or after the show ended, but now that, you know, we've come back around to it, now, you know, they've been part of Marvel lore for like 30 years now or something like that, you know. So it's interesting to see like how quickly the writers wanted to just bypass this part of his life that was in the comics for a while, you know what I mean? Like, and Wolverine had to wrestle with all the changes of it and everything. And I thought this is a very Wolverine way of dealing with it, which is if you really pay attention to the story, it is very Wolverine, right? Because he never really says that that's his plan, but it's very evident that his plan all along was to come back and get the medal, right? Like
it definitely like it makes it more interesting of like him. It allows for a deeper exploration of like what he is. Like, is he just a weapon or is he Logan? And I think interesting Wolverine stories kind of they fall in that pivot, right? It's like, oh, I'm not just this killing machine. I'm Logan, right? Friend of the X-Men, professor, or am I Weapon X? You know, this ultimate killing device. And it's interesting to see him choosing to go back to the latter. And
it is because it's also it's like it's a prison for him, right? It's something that was done to him that he's always resented, right? And so I think it's interesting that like he's basically saying that he found a sense of security and safety with those things because they weigh him down significantly too. You know what I mean? Like he's way faster without them, and he's way able to heal better without them too. But yeah, it's just like this strange thing that it's almost like what is it called? Stockholm syndrome. You know what I mean? Where you've fallen in love with your captor, right? He is now he feels incapable. By the way, Fatal Attractions was 1993, so maybe it was just something that they just weren't comfortable doing on the cartoon because they knew that Wolverine was a very hot selling, character. And they're like, I don't know if we want to touch that. It's interesting, but yeah, he had definitely lost those that adamantium way before X-Men was wrapped up on TV. So yeah, what did you think of this episode?
I liked the in terms of like spin-offs of what the main story is so far in dealing with Apocalypse. I enjoyed it because it not only gets us back to a proper Wolverine, right? Let's be real, he is better with the claws, but he doesn't get to do it without consequence. And the vessel for that in this episode is through Morph. The entire time, Morph's like trying to stick up for the guy, right? You know, against all these other shitty people for the most part. And then Wolverine does the thing, which completely undermines him, and it's nice to see like Wolf or Morph like call him out on his bullshit. Like, like what are you doing, dude? I'm here as your friend, helping you. Morph has no skin in that game. Everyone else in that crew
Wolverine is the skin in that game.
Yeah,
that's his skin in the game. That's why everybody else is like, hey, why are you here? Like, the day Deathstrike's like, what's up, Tomo? What brought you here? And he's like, what are you calling me Tomo for? And Sabretooth is like sniffing him out and being like, what's up? Like almost like he'd like to have him for trade. You know what I mean? Like it's Sabretooth is eyeballing Morph in an uncomfortable way. I'm just saying. And then you got what? Like who are the other two characters? Maverick is there, just being German and like and completely ignoring everything going on. And then Garrison Kane is there too, right? And like that guy eats it pretty fast at the beginning of the story. But yeah, for the most part, everybody is like Morph. Why are you defending this guy? And you could do better. Like you could do so much better. And what I love about this show is that it continues to double down on the implied relationship between Morph and Wolverine, right? Like they are not being subtle sometimes with this storytelling. And so yeah, it's it's a painful thing to watch Morph understand a little bit more about Wolverine than I guess he's ever bothered to understand or ever been able to understand yet. But for me, that's the best part of the whole episode, honestly. Like, I'm willing to forgive a lot of weird plot holes in this episode because what is disguised as a Wolverine episode, I think is more of a Morph episode.
Oh yeah. You get more of like an emotional layer to Morph versus Wolverine just proving that he's still shitty.
Yeah, he's toxic, right? He's like, don't be around that guy, man, because like, one, he's never gonna love you because he loves Jean Grey above everybody else. Like, that's just a fact. He's always gonna love Jean.
Like, you can interpret it when when he's Brood Wolverine and he has Morph pinned and Morph turns into Jean.
Mm-hmm.
That being the only way to like stop him is a neat trick on Morph's part, but also it's like it's kind of gross on Wolverine's part.
Yes, both.
Like,
absolutely both.
There's a subtext to it all that really pins home that, like, yeah, Wolverine is not. It's very obvious in the show Wolverine's not the focal point of this show, even though he's a popular character. But it at least gives you like context on like why this dude is problematic.
Yeah, it does. And honestly, it's showing that Morph doesn't necessarily know everything about Wolverine, but you know what he does know? He knows his weakness.
Mm-hmm.
He knows his weakness, and if he ever has to, he can use it on Wolverine, and it works because Wolverine was pretty much indestructible in that moment in time. You know, like when he's got the Brood parasite inside of him, and he's got his healing factor, and he's got his adamantium. He is gonna run through everybody in that moment. But luckily for everybody, like, he was going after Morph first, and not first. Garrison Kane ate it pretty good in that one. So, and time will tell whether or not Maverick is alive at the end of that episode. Who's to say? Maybe he got out, maybe he didn't. But you know what was really annoying about that episode? They did not resolve all the alien infected animals that are outside running around. That's all I wanted. It's just, hey, can we wrap this up? Like, because that's a lot of aliens that are just running around. So it doesn't really matter if you blew up all the ones in the building, guys. Like, there's a bunch of them outside already. But I did learn like something, or I at least theorized something from this episode, because the plot holes are aplenty in this episode. The storytelling is thin, but I still had fun, and I realized, and by the way, this is one of the lower rated episodes right now on IMDb, just because, you know, nobody ever likes a bottle episode when they're knee deep in like time travel apocalypse lore, right? They just like, it's hard to please all the fans with a bottle episode for sure. But I thought the most interesting thing about this episode is it made me realize, if you go back and look at any of the lower rated episodes, will you find Morph distracting you with a million cool cameos? I feel like the use of Morph is proportionate inversely to the quality of the episode. Like, the more they lean on Morph with awesome stuff, the less you notice the bad writing. Am I wrong?
Because I do like the purpose that a Morph serves in this show.
Yeah, he takes you through a tour of the Marvel Universe, right?
Yeah, and it obviously has the effect of looking cool, but it also validates this universe in ways of like, okay, the thing exists. Okay, that's probably Fantastic Four around here.
Spider-Man, look at that.
Spider-Man's very much in the mix. Who else did he turn into?
Let's remind you that Guardian from Department H and part of Weapon X, Alpha Flight is there too.
Silver Samurai's in there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of little nuggets that it's kind of, I feel like it's the same with like the Spider-Man game.
The Thing was in there too.
Yeah, where it's like showing but not telling. Like when you play the Spider-Man game, You pass by the Baxter Building. You pass by
Yeah.
Doctor Strange's Sanctum. You pass by the Avengers Towers. It's just nuggets to show you that there's other things. Even though it's an X-Men show, this is very much a Marvel universe with all the characters that go with it.
And you don't have to ever worry about having other shows because Morph can turn into any of them and use their powers for some reason. But no, it's super cool. And I find that the joy it brings me watching Morph do that really, really, unfortunately, does put blinders on my eyes. And it takes me a while, like, before I can think back on an episode and be like, hey, did you trick me? Was that episode not actually that good? Like, so I like that I have a week, like to think about it and come back to you and sit here on the show and talk about it. And I'm not salty in any way about this episode. I just think that, like, I think that it was a cool character exploration of Morph and Wolverine. I think that we got some cool cameos from other characters, but I think that to incorporate the Brood into the story was pure fan service, and it didn't actually make the plot stronger.
I mean, they're going to kiss at some point.
They're going to kiss. Yeah. So, like, I'm here for that. I'm here for all of the juiciness of Morph and Wolverine. Like, I freaking loved it. I loved it. I'm like, you won't catch me saying that I didn't catch the plot holes in that episode. Okay. I caught him. And who knows, maybe in season 3, we're going to find out that the government did go and scoop up all the remaining brood animals and is now making brood human hybrids to, like, live among us or whatever. Maybe they do. But for right now, I'm just like, I think the point of this was to take 2 classic X-Men episodes and smash them together and give us a fun experience. I think that's kind of what every episode of this show is smashing together fan favorite episodes and using that as a backdrop for a character moments with these amazing characters that we're invested in. You know what I mean? So having, the Love in Vain episode where Rogue travels back to Texas or some, I can't remember which state she goes to visit her old boyfriend, and it turns out he's trying to lure her in because the colony, which is just, budget brood, has been studying her for years, and they want to welcome her into their hive collective. And meanwhile, Wolverine's just out there running around with his shirt off for some reason. Like, that story also problematic, and problematic in it, like, it's got plot holes. It doesn't make sense.
What? Side note, so I'm getting my hive mind species. What was the thing in Wakanda, Eyes of Wakanda? It wasn't the Brood.
I don't remember. Yeah. I can't remember what it was. What was it?
Never, sorry to derail. It's going to drive me crazy, though.
No, it's cool. But my point is, like, those old episodes aren't, like, perfect either. But I do appreciate that Bo DeMaio and the crew are just trying to give us a fun, interesting way of doing member berries while also still progressing these characters, right? I think there was definitely a progression of character moment, like character arc for both Morph and Wolverine in this. For Wolverine, you could argue that the progression was a regression, right? Like, he feels unsafe, and the adamantium is his safety blanket, right? That's what it really is. It's a security blanket. And he doesn't want to live in this world without it. And so, that's what it is. It's unfortunate because I really would like to have explored what Wolverine is without it. But maybe this is going to do that still by telling you, that he was affected traumatically in that time. And he's still dealing with the pain and trauma and stuff. So we'll see. But it was fun to get all those extra cameos, characters that, are very much important to the X-Men cartoon and stuff. So cool stuff. I still like this episode a lot.
No, I liked it too. I'm excited. Do you need does the next episode have to continue the story, or can you be fine with another one of these bottle episodes?
I would like a follow-up on X-Force because I
It's
feel
been
like
a minute since we've seen them.
yeah, I feel like that's the story that's going to converge with the Apocalypse one eventually, right? Like that's the whole point. That's what we're leading up to is another confrontation between Cable and Apocalypse because that's a classic story that happened in the old show too, and we started the ball on that in the first episode this season, right? Like so, it just feels like that's what this is going to culminate in is Cable v Apocalypse, and so we need to check in on Team X Force and see how they're growing because I think the cool part about that team is Jubilee is influencing Cable to possibly be more of a heroic character than he has been in the past, and so I'm interested to see that, but I don't think that I would mind another bottle. It's just I think the problem is that knowing that you only have 10 of them, it makes it hard to have a lot of bottle episodes because episodes don't come cheap and they don't come often, right? So you want to make sure that they all count for something, but I still believe this one could count for something. So we'll see going forward. What about you? How many more bottle episodes could you
as long as you don't get another Mondo video game episode,
Mojo
video game episode, I'm good.
I like Mojo.
Did you like that episode though?
Yeah, I do. Roberto and Jubilee banged in that episode on her 18th birthday.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll wrap up the show.
What? I thought that was hilarious.
We have a full busy week of nerding out. I get to see. Have I not seen you since last year?
No, you've seen me. They were the Horde, by the way, the aliens in
the Horde. Huh.
Yeah.
Sounds like the same thing.
They are a different insect race.
Is that racist? Is
that
bug racist?
Yeah, it's bug racist. No, I see you like Christmas or something.
I did see you at Christmas.
Yeah,
it's been 7 months since I've seen you.
And then before that, I saw you at Survivor Series.
Yeah, I just saw they're doing another show in San Diego.
I saw that too. Tickets go on sale on Friday. I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah, but it's at the shitty arena.
Oh no, I'm less stoked. All right, cool. We can wrap this up and talk all about this after the show is over. But I look forward to seeing you and enjoying Comic-Con, and I look forward to coming back next week to talk about Comic-Con and episode 6 of X-Men 97, which will be out on Wednesday morning. So yeah, until then.
True believers. Enough